Hello Statesman Nation, I'm Wade Steinloggy and this is In the Locker Room presented by Malcolm Lumber. On this week's show, we will recap last week's games, including home baseball and softball games, the home openers, as well as bowling nationals down in Kansas. We will also have a breakdown of this week's matchups, as well as some special guests in the studio. All of that and much more. You're in the locker room. After a long winter, it looks like it's finally time for springtime, and that means balls and strikes and hot dogs at the ballpark. The William Penn baseball team finally getting its home openers in this past week, taking on Clark in one game and Culver Stockton in a 3-game set over the weekend. 3 days after Coach Laird won his 1,000th career game, William Penn back on the diamond against the Clark Pride. William Penn giving Coach Laird his 1,000th win, a commemorative jersey commemorating that victory. But unfortunately, that was not a great day for William Penn. Great 7.5 innings for your Statesman, leading 4-1, but it gave up a 5 spot to Clark last Tuesday, ended up falling to the Pride 6-4 in that contest. Several days later, Culver Stockton came to town for a 3-game set. The weather not particularly great on Saturday, but good enough to get 1 game in. So the team taking on the Wildcats for a 1-9-inning game, and Augie Voigt on the mound, and he was all over it early on with a strikeout for the first, second, and third batters of the game right out of the gate. Voigt, who finished with 8 total strikeouts, puts down the side in the first inning. Seth Reisbeck now with William Penn trailing 2-1 in the bottom of the 6th. We'll get a single, and that will tie up the game. Now in the 8th inning, William Penn takes the lead for good. Blaze Spees scoring Tanner Badir here, and William Penn up 3-2. They would tack on 2 more runs here as Boston Romero finds a gap in left center. 2 runs scoring, and William Penn will end up holding on for going up 5-2 at that point. And Augie Voigt then steps back on the mound 1 more inning. He throws a complete game, including this called strike to end the contest, picks up the win 5-2. Boston Romero 3 for 4 in the game, and Voigt with those 8 strikeouts, William Penn winning 5-2 in the first game. The teams faced off on Sunday for a pair of games. William Penn coming up short 4-2 in the first game, but did bounce back for a 5-2 victory in the second game. 5 2/3 for Alec Myers, had a strong outing, and Dominic Bravo went yard for William Penn as well, so they take 2 of 3 against the Wildcats.
Yellow Jackets as they come up here in the top.
The softball teams were also road warriors for several weeks of the year, but finally got on the dirt for the first time, taking on Graceland and Peru State. Graceland first on Wednesday night.
Is swung on and missed. Good slider there.
And Carly Rose Perry was strong in the circle, getting a strikeout there. And another strikeout. She ended up with 9 total in the game. One more for good measure here. Another called looking on the outside. William Penn 0-0 though early with Graceland, and now Lexi Riccardi finally gets William Penn going here with a single. William Penn takes a 1-0 lead now here in the 4th inning. Abby Young at the plate, and she's going to find the gap, driving in a pair of runs. William Penn extends its lead to 3-0.
She's going to get there. It's going to be a 2 RBI single here for the States.
Now Sonia Reddy in the 4th inning, giving William Penn a little more cushion. Another single. She'll drive in a runner from third and second as well, and your Statesman ahead 5-0. Ends up making it very interesting down the stretch. The Yellow Jackets pulled to within 2 at 5-3, but Perry gets one more strike strikeout, and that'll close out the game. William Penn takes the opener 5-3 over the Yellow Jackets.
5-3, and
then they're back on the dirt for game number 2 last Wednesday. Katie Springer in the circle, trying to finish off the doubleheader sweep. And this one was a perfect pitcher's duel for the softball purist that loves a low-scoring game. This was right up their alley. Couple early strikeouts for Springer. Game still 0-0 in the top of the 6th, and Graceland challenging. Ball flown into right field, but Lindsay Lambert didn't really set up, just shows how much of a cannon she has, and fires it in to Emily Brown, who applies a tag, and the double play ends the threat. And now William Penn here in the bottom of the 7th. Emily Brown with 1 out. She's the catcher, but she shows she's got wheels, going first, second, and will slide in safely for the triple. She gets a pinch runner, and then the next at bat, Whitney Stone coming in and finds the Bermuda Triangle down that right field line, and that will bring in Cassie Bade for the game-winning run. William Penn finishes off the sweep, winning the first game 5-3 and the second game 1-0. Again, a couple great pitching performances by Perry and Springer, and your Statesmen take down the Yellow Jackets to improve at that point to 4-2 in conference play. The team would also take on Peru State on Sunday. And again, a couple of great outings by Perry and Springer. 6 innings for Perry, complete game for Springer. And William Penn gets enough offense in the first game to win 1-0. And in the second game, the offensive floodgates open up, and your Statesmen take down the Bobcats 10-2. William Penn now 6-2 in league play. Lots of other teams also in action. Most notably, the bowling teams were down in Topeka, Kansas for the NAIA Invitational. Both teams in great position to possibly bring home the first national title in bowling history. The men ended up being the number 2 seed going through qualifying, had a great qualifying, but unfortunately just couldn't get things rolling in bracket play, falling their first 2 times, so ousted early on were the men. The women were only the 5 seed, which was still a very solid outing out of the 12-team side, but they ended up getting a couple early wins and kept pushing. Eventually, the team got all the way to 3rd, pushed the eventual champion Scad Savannah to a 5th game in the semifinals, but could not come away with it. And your Statesman women's bowling team finishes 3rd overall. So both teams will now prepare one more time for another national tournament, the USBC Nationals, where they'll face off against all sorts of talent, D1 all the way down to junior college talent at USBC Nationals in a couple weeks. The women's golf team also competing, a lot of big schools at the Southern Illinois Invitational. William Penn finishing 4th out of 14 overall, and Elise Warren leads the team with a 156. William Penn defeated 8 different D1 or D2 squads there. The men's golf team began its spring season taking on the field at the Kansas Wesleyan Invitational, finishing 2nd out of 7. The only team that beat William Penn was the home team, Kansas Wesleyan, by a handful of strokes. Oliver Stanway led the way. He finished in a tie for 3rd at 145. Kansas Wesleyan and William Penn were 2 teams that were coming in, both receiving votes. So a couple of solid teams, William Penn taking 2nd overall there. And finally, the William Penn track and field teams continuing their outdoor season down at Baker in Baldwin City, Kansas. 4 event champions, including Elena Van Arsdale in the hammer throw. Shelby Williams won the shot put, Chris Leba in the 100-meter dash, and Lois Parker in the triple jump. And so a great outing there for the team, even though the weather conditions, again, really tough here in the Midwest over the weekend, especially on Saturday. So we'll talk about what's coming up in a little bit for William Penn, but when we return, we will have athletics, or a member of our athletic support team, the Director of Sports Medicine, Abu Ibrahim, and we'll have him and another guest down the road. You're in the locker room.
William Penn University provided the opportunities for me to widen my potential after graduation. I loved being involved with the women's golf team and was able to focus my last few years on internships at the YMCA. With all the opportunities at Penn, I hope to one day be working in a stadium for a pro team or doing the business side of sports, which I love. The opportunities are real, your potential is unlimited. Discover your place at William Penn University.
You built a castle so that the prince and princess can live happily ever after. You brought the sunshine to shine upon the whole family's future. But when the sun hides behind the clouds, State Farm can help. We put the life back in life insurance to protect your family's finances, not only in the future, but today.
Call your State Farm agent Kelly Style in Oskaloosa today.
What if there was a program
where I could express my individuality,
create my visions, get the hands-on learning that I need,
a program where I could become something greater,
become something bigger?
Hello everyone, this is Tyler Van Welden from Malcolm Lumber in Grinnell, Montezuma, and Oskaloosa. Malcolm Lumber is your DIY headquarters and we would love to help you with any projects you want to tackle. Bring us your plans, let our staff help you. We will get you the right materials, the correct tools, and the support you need to make that project come out perfect. And now we have a full-time designer for that new kitchen and bath. Stop in and say hello at any of our 3 store locations or call to make an appointment.
Welcome back to State of the Nation. You've probably seen him around quite a bit, but he's one of those that, like me, is behind the scenes a lot. I'm speaking of Director of Sports Medicine here at William Penn, Abu Ibrahim. I know I just said it wrong again. I knew it was.
Yeah, you did.
Ibrahim. There you go. Thank you. See? Everybody, I get mad at people saying sign log, you're wrong. So, anyhow, what's going on, man? How are you?
Doing all right.
Awesome. I told you, I gave you a whole list of things we were going to talk about, and I knew we weren't going to get them all done, but we're going to get right into it. Talk about your background. I know you've been here at William Penn once, and now you're back again, and now you're heading the whole show. So let's talk about how you got here.
So I did my undergrad at Northeastern University in Boston, Massachusetts, where I grew up, and then after that I was looking to do a graduate assistantship somewhere, and William Penn had an opening, so I applied a whole bunch of places. William Penn gave me a call back, sight unseen. Next thing you know, less than 2 weeks later, I'm out here in the middle of Iowa. I was here, did 2 years here, and I loved every minute of it. I mean, I had a really, really great experience. After that, I went out to Wayne State for 2 years, so I got to be at a Division II school. That was the only division I had never done, so I'd done everything else up until that point. So I wanted to experience that, and that was a really good time out in Wayne. And then one day out of the blue, I was at a football practice, and I got a call back that they're looking for a new head athletic trainer, and next thing you know, here I am back in action again.
Right. Nick brought you in knowing that we had to do some things differently, et cetera, and you've definitely taken that call to charge and everything. Talk about, and I know this is a very difficult question, but talk about some of the duties and responsibilities that a director of sports medicine has, and try to keep that within 4 minutes.
Yeah, so there are all types of duties and responsibilities. I mean, we're the charge point person, medical personnel, as far as all the athletic teams go. So me and my staff, Megan Monjo and Rebecca Deloach, are doing everything for all the student athletes. That's pre-participation physicals, we're there covering practices, we're there at all the games, all the rehab. They're right now holding down the fort while I do things like this, doing all that type of stuff. So I mean, it is a whole lot of stuff that a lot of people know and don't know. Every single day I have a student athlete going, I didn't know you guys do or could do that or did do that. So I mean, there's just a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah, definitely. One of the things that you guys are doing that you initiated was a thing called Viviture. I'm going to let you run with this one. What's Viviture?
So Viviture is our electronic medical record software. That's what we primarily use it for. All the kids come in, every time they come and do treatment, they have a thumbprint, they'll thumb right in. It has all their rehab and stuff written out their forms, so they'll be able to sign and check in electronically. It's actually a really great database. On the other end of that, we use it to collect some third-party billing for their insurances. So again, it helps generate a little bit of revenue for the department. Additionally, also we can use it again to use it as their electronic medical record. So all their notes and everything is all right in there. It's easy to access. If a coach needs something, we can print it out. If an insurance company needs something, we can print it out. If the hospital needs something, we can print it out. I mean, it's good to have everything that's all housed in one spot, and it's really, really great. It's a really slick system. They have those touchscreen computers. There are 2 of them in the training room right now. I've been doing that for about a year and change now.
Right. Yeah. Before we get to the final question, which is a real doozy, but I think maybe I'm speaking out of turn, but concussions has probably changed your world as much as anything over the last few years. Talk about how, what has changed over the last few years in the sports medicine world.
I think, it's more the exposure for everyone else. Everyone, it's not just a bell getting run anymore. It's a very serious thing. I talk about student athletes that as far as every other thing that go wrong with you, we can fix. I'm happy to put your arm back together or your leg back together. And if I can't and you really, really want to do sports so bad, we'll get you a peg leg after you're done if it's all said and done and we can't put it back together. But once your brain goes to applesauce, it's never coming back, and it's really important to make sure that we can really take care of you guys. We take those things very seriously. It's written on all our contracts that no one has medical authority over us. So if we say you have a concussion, no one's putting you back in that game until we clear you. And all the coaches and the student athletes understand that and respect that and understand the severity of something going wrong, something like second impact syndrome, which could literally kill somebody. So through a lot of baseline testing and then post-concussion testing, and then run through our concussion protocol, in addition using the faculty as well, Dr. Staley, we have a return to learn kind of thing, so the faculty are aware when a student athlete has a concussion and the things that they can and can't do if they need to be excused from class. Is really, we have got everyone on board and we've got a really good system in place. I like where we're at.
I know there's just so much more.
I can keep on going.
I know, you always hear about, concussion, they're going through concussion protocol, and it's like, what does that mean? But there's just so much.
There's a whole lot. There's a lot where there's a complete rest period, they're not doing anything, and then after that we'll have them do some light cardio, then some strength conditioning stuff, and then we'll have them do a partial practice, and then we'll let them do a full practice, and then after that they'd be full to go. That's the really condensed, less than 4-minute version. Right.
Well, here's the doozy, and we kind of talked in the past about this, but talk about the future of sports medicine and what it kind of looks like. And
so the future of sports medicine goes a handful of different ways. Right now it's trying to be about getting everyone an athletic trainer in all aspects. So again, a lot of high schools don't have an athletic trainer. We do some outreach with a couple of local high schools, including North Mahaska and Cardinal High School in Eldon. So again, everyone an athletic trainer is really, really important. I lost my train of thought. I had something for this.
We talked a lot about that. It's just no longer. There's probably going to be a lot of full-time people.
Yeah, a lot of full-time people. There's a lot of transition. So athletic trainers are moving away from a Bachelor of Science degree, moving to a master's degree. So that's going to change a lot of the way that people are hiring in the current model of graduate assistants, maybe phasing out here very shortly, moving into internship routes, and again, more full-time positions. And ideally that gets everybody at all schools, all levels, not just, big-time D1s that have, 14 people on staff, but, that every single high school has someone on staff full-time there every single day, which is really important. Every kid deserves an athletic trainer. Every kid that gets hurt, kids get hurt every single day, every single level of it, and it's important for them to have adequate medical care.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for your time. I know there was a million and two other things that we could have talked about as well, so we'll have to bring you on the show again.
Absolutely, for sure, anytime.
Awesome. All right, well, thank you, Abu, so much. Again, Abu Ibrahim, I said it wrong. Ibrahim, geez. I'm getting the wrong emphasis on the syllable. Ibrahim, Abu, thank you so much for your time. When we return, we will have Kayla Music of the women's track and field team here in the locker room. I don't know why.
William Penn University provided the opportunities for me to widen my potential after graduation. I loved being involved with the women's golf team and was able to focus my last few years on internships at the YMCA. With all the opportunities at Penn, I hope to one day be working in a stadium for a pro team or doing the business side of sports, which I love. The opportunities are real, your potential is unlimited. Discover your place at William Penn University.
You built a castle so that the prince and princess can live happily ever after. You brought the sunshine to shine upon the whole family's future. But when the sun hides behind the clouds, State Farm can help. We put the life back in life insurance to protect your family's finances, not only in the future, but today.
Call your State Farm agent Kelly Style in Oskaloosa today.
What if there was a program
where I could express my individuality,
create my visions, get the hands-on learning that I need,
a program where I could become something greater,
become something bigger.
Hello everyone, this is Tyler Van Welden from Malcolm Lumber in Grinnell, Montezuma, and Oskaloosa. Malcolm Lumber is your DIY headquarters and we would love to help you with any projects you want to tackle. Bring us your plans, let our staff help you. We will get you the right materials, the correct tools, and the support you need to make that project come out perfect. And now we have a full-time designer for that new kitchen and bath. Stop in and say hello at any of our 3 store locations or call to make an appointment.
Welcome back, Statesman Nation. During the indoor season, she broke 2 school records. She qualified for nationals, and now she's getting ready for the outdoor season. We have with us Kayla Music, a freshman women's track and field athlete out of Corpus Christi, Texas. Appreciate you coming in, and appreciate you having an easy last name, because obviously I'm having troubles with that today. So congratulations on a great indoor season. Let's recap that a little bit. Coming in, obviously you always want to set the bar high, your expectations, as high as possible, and see if you can reach them and push yourself. But what were your actual expectations coming into the indoor season, your first one?
My first one was, because I did indoor back in high school,
right.
And so I already had times that weren't the best, so I guess my goal was to just try and lower those as much as possible, and I did that, yeah. Yeah,
definitely. What were, I guess, working with Coach Z, how much was, and I'm going to just pull him right into it, how was he able to impact you, and get you in the right mindset and get you prepared and everything for that indoor season? Because I know it is a little bit, you've done indoor, but still, it's a little bit weird.
Yeah, so with Coach Z, he's a really great coach. He's really helped me with my form and a lot of muscle memory. So when I do simple things, I'll know to bring my knees up, I'll know to point my toes and stuff. So all that stuff is just muscle memory now, so it just comes easy with me. And just bringing my times down, he's very nice. So when I get stressed out, or sometimes if I didn't do too good, I'll get down on myself and be like, hey, don't worry about it. Did you have fun? That's all that matters. I'm like, you're right. You're right.
There you go. And now you're moving forward, getting ready for the outdoor season, which is extremely fast outdoor season, because you don't have a break like indoor. But outdoor season, the weather is starting to cooperate, so hopefully it'll be warm enough and get your body ready. But what are the expectations for the outdoor season?
Kind of just for indoor, just lowering my times that I had from high school, trying to qualify for nationals again, maybe conference, be a conference champion.
As far as comparing the 2 seasons, which one do you like better?
I like outdoor because there's more events, and we have better relays, the 4x1. Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yeah, definitely. With regards to the different sprints, is it the 100 is your game, 60 and 100, the shortest, the shorter the better, or is can we go into a 200? And I guess for that matter, are we going to see you in a 400?
Yeah, you'll see me in the 4x4. I don't know about the open 4. Okay. You might see me. If you do, there'll be some tears.
Yeah. Team-wise, you guys are very young right now, but the expectations are higher. The bar has been set a little bit higher, especially coming off a nice indoor season. What have you guys been talking about that you want to accomplish during the outdoor campaign?
For outdoor, we just kind of want to make sure we do our best, we perform to our highest, run, jump, throw, we know we can do. And, everyone wants to be conference champions. We all want to go to nationals. Sometimes that's not going to happen since, we're all pretty young, but just to be able to perform our best.
Being that you have a young team, but that you have been so successful really quickly here, how much of a leader do you feel like you are on the team, especially coming off that you're a qualifier?
I know Coach Z always tells me, he's people are always looking up to you, which is kind of crazy, because I'm well, I'm a freshman, so it's wow, really? So it kind of gives me that oh, okay, I gotta make sure I do this, or people are looking at me, so I gotta be good, be my best.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, lead by example, as you have already done. So best of luck in the outdoor season, Kayla. Once again, Kayla Music, freshman women's track and field athlete here at William Penn. Wish her and her team all the best of luck in the outdoor campaign. When we return, we will preview all of the action that you're going to have for William Penn this coming week. You're in the locker room.
William Penn University provided the opportunities for me to widen my potential after graduation. I loved being involved with the women's golf team and was able to focus my last few years on internships at the YMCA. With all the opportunities at Penn, I hope to one day be working in a stadium for a pro team or doing the business side of sports, which I love. The opportunities are real, your potential is unlimited. Discover your place at William Penn University.
You built a castle so that the prince and princess can live happily ever after. You brought the sunshine to shine upon the whole family's future. But when the sun hides behind the clouds, State Farm can help. We put the life back in life insurance to protect your family's finances, not only in the future, but today.
Call your State Farm agent Kelly Style in Oskaloosa today.
What if there was a program
where I could express my individuality,
create my visions, get the hands-on learning that I need,
a program where I could become something greater,
become something bigger.
Hello everyone, this is Tyler Van Welden from Malcolm Lumber in Grinnell, Montezuma, and Oskaloosa. Malcolm Lumber is your DIY headquarters and we would love to help you with any projects you want to tackle. Bring us your plans, let our staff help you. We will get you the right materials, the correct tools, and the support you need to make that project come out perfect. And now we have a full-time designer for that new kitchen and bath. Stop in and say hello at any of our 3 store locations or call to make an appointment.
Welcome back, Statesman Nation. Lots of action upcoming this week, so let's get right to it. Big week for the softball and baseball teams on the docket. Beginning with softball taking on Mount Mercy, doubleheader on Tuesday. The Mustangs come into town, so we'll see. That'd be a good matchup for William Penn taking on Mount Mercy in softball. The ladies of the Diamond will continue action on Wednesday, taking on Culver Stockton, going down to Canton, Missouri for a doubleheader. Another one out of the North Division. See if William Penn can come away with a couple victories down in Canton. Continuing the week, William Penn will take on the league leaders in the Baker Wildcats at home. Olivia Breeze, one of the best pitchers in the nation for Baker, so it'll be a tough go for William Penn on Saturday. And then finally on Sunday, Benedictine will also be in town for a doubleheader. William Penn just looking to see if where they really match up on the softball diamond against all of these hard foes. In baseball action, there'll be a pair of games, just one game, excuse me, on Tuesday. Mount Mercy coming to town, finish off the 3-game set for the baseball team. And then also over the weekend, it'll be a 3-game set. The Bobcats of Peru State at home. William Penn trailing Peru State right now in the North Division, so there'll be a couple of really big games in Oskaloosa this coming weekend. Excuse me. Also in action will be the women's golf team taking its talent over to Ankeny, Iowa for a duel against Bellevue. A couple of strong teams facing off head-to-head on Tuesday. And then finally the Central Methodist Invite will be the home of track and field William Penn track and field on Saturday. So again, a lot of action, mostly to do with baseball and softball, a lot of home games opportunities to catch your Statesmen. So we'll have recaps of all of that action, as well as interviews with our athletes and student coaches. Until next week, go Statesmen. Go Screw.